When it comes to Silent Hill's small businesses, most are left abandoned on the side of the road, with no way for us to enter, leaving relics of a once lively town where people came to eat, drink, or play sports. I think most people remember places such as Cafe 522, Neely's Bar, Heaven's Night, Happy Burger, or Happy Burger. Why does this burger joint appear in almost every single game? Why is this by far the most notorious restaurant in the series? Am I missing something? Well, as far as random shops go, it does have a weird vibe about it. It makes me wonder, what were they doing in here? Sure, they made burgers, but why are they happy? Is this just another fast food place that just so happens to be a point of interest in multiple games? From Cheryl waking up here after having a hallucination about it, specifically about how they prepare the meat, to its welcome return in the Silent Hill 2 remake. Let's just say I have a few questions about this place. So, like a health inspector, I'm going to be taking a look at every Happy Burger in the series to find out why it's Silent Hill's most notorious restaurant. Before I begin, Happy Burger isn't the only fast food restaurant around town. In fact, some even predate its initial appearance in Silent Hill 2. Konami Burger is found on Crichton Street in Silent Hill 1. There's nothing really of interest here. Upon entering the Otherworld, the name changes to Konami Burger instead, with an E. From my research, Burger is an occupational surname of French origin, meaning shepherd, but there's also a German origin of this name, which derives from the word hill, meaning resident on a hill. This could be an Alessa manifestation, needing her second half Cheryl to stay in Silent Hill with her, or her willingness to trap Harry and Sybil so they never leave. But I could be wrong. It's still a cool detail that I've never noticed before. Queen Burger is another one, encountered right outside Cafe 522. It doesn't really look like a restaurant minus the sign on the wall. For once in history, Downpour did an okay job at replicating it and making it look slightly nicer. We'll talk more about this place later. There's also E-Burger, which is a lawsuit if I've ever seen one, and Steak and Brew Burger off of Simmons Street. Looks to be a barbecue of some sort. With that out of the way, let's go over to Silent Hill 2 and stop by Happy Burger in its infancy, when it was nothing more than a little corner shop. When first playing this game, my first impressions were always that it looked more detailed than anything else in the Grand Market, or all of Silent Hill for that matter. A vibrant colour scheme, a structured exterior consisting of geometric walls and a roof, windows, promotions, signs, and a car park even. It's beautiful. I've compared it the most to Pete's Bolorama, which is still my favourite location in the series. Starting from the outside, the car park sign is obsessed with the triangles. It's not intrusive, but intentional enough. Look at them trying to hide it. We wouldn't be paranoid to immediately assume that this place is associated with the cult in some way. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt for now though. I'll also excuse the drift marks, which aren't as pronounced as those at the Historical Society, leading directly into the lake, foreshadowing James's suicide method in the in-water ending long before the final act of the game. These are obviously due to the enormous amount of traffic coming in and out of Happy Burger before the town went belly up. Even in the enhanced edition of Silent Hill 2, the menu is unfortunately illegible. All I can see are the faint depictions of various burgers and sides. I don't know about these items at the top left and middle though. Multiple posters advertising the 99-cent burgers, you can never get that nowadays, and an affiliation with the aforementioned Queen Burger are evident by the posters on the door. Everything else here are reused assets, so they're not worth mentioning. No billboard, no interaction from James, and Eddie isn't here either, which is surprising. The only thing that I did find was this poster above the Queen's special promotion, which either looks like a missing persons report or some sort of disclaimer. Maybe their reputation took a hit as a result of this. It could also be a newspaper article, so I won't speculate much on what this was or if it was a deterrent for any potential customers. As expected, there was nothing mysterious enough in its debut appearance to help substantiate the investigation, so let's continue onwards to its second, and in my opinion, most important inclusion in the series. Similar to what Cafe 522 is for her dad, Cheryl wakes up in a Happy Burger at the beginning of Silent Hill 3 after having a nightmare. During the intro scene, she then leaves the restaurant to call Harry before hiding in the bathroom from Douglas. When the game starts, we're free to loop back around the mall and explore freely, although it's actually very hidden the second time for some reason. I'll talk about how amazing it looks after, but first things first, let's check the table where she fell asleep. Maybe she elaborates on her reason for doing so. Was she just tired, or was it the food? This is where I was sleeping earlier. Hell, I might still be sleeping here for all I know. I wish I were. It's better than nothing. Maybe all of Silent Hill 3 actually does take place in Cheryl's head and she was just hibernating after eating a king-sized burger. Already, this interior looks nicer than anything else in the series. The plants and assortment of sauces make it look like an actual restaurant and not a bar Neely's. You can see ketchup, mustard, salt, pepper and napkins. Very nice. There's a clock which reads happy time that's stuck on midnight, and a staff-only door. Makes sense, they don't want us finding out about their secret operation. I'll get to that very soon. Everything else in here I've covered before. The A set, B set meals make a return, and the menu at the counter is as hard to read as always. It just looks like your average burger joint. Regardless, I was glad to finally explore the interior, even if it was a mall chain and not a standalone building like in Silent Hill 2. Now for the evidence that made me regret ever thinking that these burgers look delicious. This occurs in Silent Hill Revelations, which I won't be able to show anything from besides a few screenshots, so bear with me. In this movie, Cheryl has a hallucination while hiding from Douglas Cartland. Walking through the mall, she passes through Happy Burger and into the staff-only door, as seen in Silent Hill 3. It's in the kitchen where she finds a man, or a butcher if you will, preparing human meat burgers. She then runs in the opposite direction before shortly regaining consciousness. Now, say what you'd like about the validity of a 17-year-old girl's mental episode, but it's just too weird to let go, especially considering the next location on this list. So far, I've found minimal evidence to support any theories regarding health and safety breaches, let alone something like this. It's almost too clean. Hear me out for a second. Spotless hardwood floors, no carpets. Of course, because it would be much more difficult to hide or remove spills or crumbs. The tables are swept clean, no wrappers in sight, as if the staff deep clean the place from top to bottom every time a customer leaves the table. No lining on the tables, or the counters, or the furniture, just old damaged wood. They've certainly passed my health inspection, but I'd be inclined to hide in the bathroom like Cheryl and check what they're hiding in the back after closing hours. As mentioned by the clock, midnight may be a point of interest. Overall, Silent Hill 3's Happy Burger is what makes it as famous as it is, in my opinion. The third and final location that we can explore is in the Remake, a faithful effort to bring its once inaccessible interior a new spotlight. From the outside, it looks dilapidated and neglected, not necessarily the recently abandoned but still preserved building from the original game. It looks like something out of The Last of Us. Once upon a time, I believed that there could have still been employees waiting at the counter inside. That isn't the case anymore. Same car park, unreadable menu. Maybe this missing dogs poster is supposed to be the imagining of the newspaper article originally. Anyway, there's no point standing around. Let's jump through the window and poke about some. Immediately, James turns his head in the direction of a nearby table. It's here where a leaflet can be found which reads, "Feel the craving. You just can't help it. Go for it. Happy Burger. What you need is what you get. On the run. Grab something to go." What on earth is this language? We may have just found something actually scary for once. What you need is what you get. What does that even mean? Do humans need burgers? I suppose so, but what do people need more? Family? Other people? Maybe it's just referring to food in general, but it's just a weird thing to say. Imagine if Burger King did something like this. I will nitpick and say that the layout looks nothing like Silent Hill 3's Happy Burger, which arguably makes my distrust around it more justifiable. This place looks like your average burger place or diner. On the surface, it's not suspicious whatsoever. The staff-only doors, which don't have the word staff-only written across them this time, have circular windows that we can see through into the storage room and kitchen. This place is open with nothing to hide and not closed off like in Silent Hill 3. This time around, the menu above the counter can actually be read. Finally, avocado ice cream. I'm okay. There's also overt references to other places in Silent Hill, such as Le Toluca Burger. That's probably what I'd order, to be honest. That, fries, strawberry ice cream and Coke. Unfortunately, the kitchen has little to offer us, which was expected. What I thought was dried blood at first, finding more areas where the red hue was apparent, I came to the conclusion that it's just the natural colour of the tiles that has become coated with a thick layer of dust over a long period of time. But let me know what you think. It's the same with the stoves behind the counter. It's just rust, and at this point we're left to wonder if these design choices were intentional in order to throw us off the investigation. The only thing that's kind of weird is this crawl space in the kitchen that leads to the storage room. Here we can find a syringe and unlock the door leading back into the main room, and that's about it really. We did find something weird, but in terms of actual evidence, we're still running on hypotheticals and Cheryl's one hallucination in the second film. In summary, Silent Hill 2 Remake's Happy Burger wasn't the answer to this mystery like I thought it was going to be. Besides a couple of enemies and some supplies, there's no reason to ever come here and it's quite forgettable. So the question is Happy Burger just a normal restaurant, or is there something sinister going on here? I don't know. These locations range from kind of weird, elevated in Silent Hill 3 in particular because of its lore connection to Cheryl, to the most boring, average shop that can be mistaken for 99% of everything else. I would still be reluctant to try their burgers despite what I know, simply because of how uncanny it all feels. Even though this investigation was a failure, some things you can't put into words. You just get a weird feeling about certain places or things that often turn out to be rational. That's all for now. Do you think they actually did cook human meat, or was that just a cliche ploy by the film to not be taken seriously? Any suggestions at all, whether they're Silent Hill related or not, send them to my email address. Good luck sleeping tonight, and thank you.